Welcome, everybody. What's going on, everybody? We're going to get into it. So we have a lady that some people are calling Granny Soldier, Super Granny. She did something very commendable, very phenomenal, and she needs to get a little bit more light shed on the situation, all right? So we want to welcome you guys to What's the 411 News, and we're going to get into it right now.
Welcome back to What's the 411 News, where we bring you news observation, interpretation, and news commentary from an FBA and BGR perspective. Let's get it.
Welcome back, everybody, to What's the 411 News. We appreciate y'all. Yeah, y'all let me know if you want me to go live a little more often, man. Y'all let me know, all right? But before, we're going to get into this, all right? We're going to get into the super soldier, black woman. She says she's a grandma. And in case you guys missed what happened, we're going to give you some footage and show you a few things. And it won't be footage of her putting in that work, but you will see what the after effects of, and then, of course, a few interviews. So we appreciate y'all for coming in, man. Thank you for checking us out. And yeah, we're going to get right into it, all right? So let's check out the first video here of this super granny, in case y'all didn't know, all right? Let's get it.
Disturbance on a flight from Atlanta to Arizona. A video is going viral of a woman being detained by another passenger. Catherine Patterson spoke with the passenger who prevented what could have been a medical emergency.
Nicole Pruitt is no stranger to traveling by air, and she took the first chance she could get to hit the skies and meet her new grandson in Tucson.
Had a little jitters, like, oh, I can't wait to get my hands on him.
But 20 minutes into the flight from Atlanta, she says another passenger started trying to storm the cockpit and the main entrance of the plane.
She didn't want to be on the plane anymore. She said God told her to do it. She had a calling, and I'm just like, wait a minute, I don't know about this conversation you got going on, but not today.
The 26-year Army veteran sprung into action, detaining the woman with her family in Tucson and late husband in the front of her mind.
Nobody else was doing nothing, so I just literally knew I had to do something. I got to make it home to my kids, my children, my grandchildren.
On the ground in southern Arizona, her son and father of three, Tyreek, was nervous, only getting bits and pieces of what exactly was happening as he waited at the airport.
Those are kids on that plane that have a whole life to live. Those are grandparents on that plane. Those are parents on that plane. Those are just people full of life and potential. So
when he finally found out how his mom stepped in, he said that that's just the kind of person she is.
Not surprised. Sometimes it's just a natural instinct, and got to get it done.
He wanted to share with the rest of the world his mom's courage in those crucial moments.
So I had no idea that I was what I was getting myself into when I did that.
Millions of views and comments started pouring in, full of love and support for Nicole.
I need Mama Nikki on my flight. I fly next week.
Family and friends that know, it's like, girl, I seen the video. I'm so proud of you.
We reached out to Delta Airlines and they told us, quote, Delta sincerely appreciates the actions of our crew and customers for de-escalating this situation. We apologize to our customers for the delay and thank them for their understanding. While they're glad everyone was safe, Nicole and Tyreek say the whole ordeal makes them see the world just a little bit differently.
It just teaches you to be grateful for what you have and understand that it can be gone in an instant.
All right. So we're going to get into another video here. And we're also going to get into, after this video, we're going to get into two other videos. You're getting kind of the, I don't know if I want to call it the watered down version of things. But you're gonna hear from Mama Nikki. somebody call. I even heard Super Granny in there a few times. She appears to be a Gen Xer, also something to take note as well. And yeah, let's take a look at this other video. All right.
Fallout after a Georgia grandmother took down an unruly passenger she says was trying to storm the cockpit.
I felt like my life was in danger.
Nicole Pruitt was on Delta Flight 937 from Atlanta to Tucson last week when she said she noticed a woman repeatedly trying to enter the plane's cockpit.
I got her down on the ground, It wasn't hard to do because I think she wasn't even expecting it. And at that moment, I told the flight attendants, I said, could you please get some restraints for her? And I would say she was very strong, but my determination was even stronger.
The Army vet and grandmother to 7 grandchildren says her military training was crucial in de-escalating the incident.
I knew that I had to take care of myself at the end of the day.
The flight was rerouted back to Atlanta before redeparting for Tucson. The FAA confirming the woman was suffering from a medical emergency. Delta Airlines saying in a statement, Delta sincerely appreciates the actions of our crew and customers for de-escalating this situation. We apologize to our customers for the delay and thank them for their understanding.
Now, the plane ultimately landed safely. The passenger who reportedly caused the incident not being charged, Michael.
All right, and Mola, okay, thank you. Thank goodness that grandmother was there. Do not mess with grandma. Everybody says more of that story. Thank you.
All right, so before we get into the next video, the reason why I wanted to do these other 2 videos, because she gives more of her relaxed account as opposed to, being on the news. And also they just showed a little bit of the footage of her being inside the plane. And I wanted to show you guys a little bit more of it because there's something to be said and spoken about in regards to this situation. And it's kind of interesting because as far as we know right now, we still don't know if Delta Airlines is going to give her at least a year free flight passes, go on the plane and fly for free or not. We haven't heard anything about that yet. All right. So let's get into this next video here. And this will be, I guess she's at home and giving more of an account as to what happened. And it also says, Delta, sincerely, we apologize for our customers for the delay. Hold on here. Let's go back here. All right. Let's go back here. Hold on. So Delta sincerely appreciates the actions of our crew and customers. And I wanted to address that a little bit. From what you're going to hear, it wasn't customers. It was just her. Now, she mentions the flight staff, or she mentions a flight staff member or crew, if you will, that did something. And who knows, it could have been more than one flight crew member because, sometimes when you're in the thick of things or the heat of the moment of doing what you got to do to make sure somebody don't act a fool on the plane, you might not be aware. Some people are. Everybody's different. Some people are aware who's been around them, what's been going on, even after they finished what they had to do, take care of business. And then they know who was around them at the time, what they did, what they didn't do. And we don't know if that's the case with mama, super mama, or super granny, as some of them call her. She don't look that old, though, to be honest with you. But yeah, this is kind of, I don't know, from Delta saying the actions of our crew. I don't know how much your crew did, Delta. Maybe just one person in the crew did something. And then, of course, she took action, which you're going to hear what she says here in a second. All right. So let's get into that video right now. All right.
I put that bitch in my the little seat pocket right there. I said, please excuse me. I said, I'm going to beat her ass right now. Like, literally, this chick came all the way from the fucking back.
Trying to get to the cockpit.
Yes, she said she didn't want to be on the plane no more. I said, bitch, you shouldn't have got on the plane today then. That's terroristic acts to me. The fact that we were fucking first class, these motherfuckers didn't do nothing. They just.
All right. You heard it herself. You heard it from her yourself. Nobody else took action but her. And she wasn't going to wait to see what this lady was going to do. We're kind of dubbing her the cockpit Karen, because as she mentions, she came from all the way in the back, looking like she was going to head to the cockpit. And she's going to brief and explain a little bit more to it. But yeah, it goes to say, though, this has been a pattern with Black people. She appears to be Black American. That's normally a pattern of Black Americans when it comes to protecting, and you're protecting a bunch of people. Remember the guy that was in the was it the Waffle House back in Austin, Texas, when some dude came in there doing, shooting his gun. It was the black guy that came and took him down, took him out. It always seems to be that same pattern going on. And here we have again a black woman. She was in the military, and she's like, yo, this lady's shady, while everybody else either is not even aware of what's going on, or they're aware and they're just dumbfounded. So Delta, this had nothing to do with just your flight crew and then customers. Customers didn't do a thing, from what I understand, from what this lady is saying, from what Miss Nikki is saying, if you will. So let's go back and listen to what she's saying.
I had this earpiece in my pocket. I put that bitch in my little seat pocket right there. I said, please excuse me. I said, I'm gonna beat her ass right now. Like literally, this chick came all the way from the fucking back.
Trying to get to the cockpit.
Yes, she said she didn't want to be on the plane no more. I said, bitch, you shouldn't have got on the plane today then. That's terroristic acts to me. The fact that we were in fucking first class, these motherfuckers didn't do nothing. They just fucking watching.
Was she getting aggressive though?
Yeah, she was aggressive. The fucking airline stewardess kept pushing her out the way. Said, ma'am, I cannot let you go. And she said, I don't want to be on the plane. She said, she said, I have a call and God told me to do it. I said, that bitch over here.
God told you to do what?
Bitch.
You want to find out?
No, I won't fit to fucking find out. I had this earpiece.
She said she wasn't about to find out what this lady was about to do. She was going to put in that work. She was going to put them hands on her. You know what I'm saying? She said she wasn't trying to wait to see what this lady was going to do on the plane. The lady's talking about God sent her to do something and she need to get off the plane. And I don't know if the plane was in flight or what, or they was getting ready to take off. But that's real odd for you to be saying something like that. And the plane is flying and you want to talk about, you want to get out the door. And because God sent you to do something and you in flight. So shout out to Nikki. She said she's putting in that work. She ain't about to try to find out what this lady was going to try to do or wanted to do or what. All right. So let's listen in some more.
I put that bitch in my little seat pocket right there. I said, please excuse me. I said, I'm going to beat her ass right now.
She said she was going to beat that A right now. You know what I mean? So let's check out this last video because there's something I want to point out, a few things I want to point out as well. That's very interesting. Now, people I'm hearing through the news wires, they saying she's a hero, but it don't seem like there's a lot of appreciation. And in this video, I'm gonna show you why I say that. All right. So let's go ahead and roll that video.
All the way from the back. She came all the way from the back up here. Do all this.
I need to know if there is any medical personnel on board, any medical personnel at all on board that can assist us. Please come forward to the first class cabin.
I mean, if we could hear her in a seat, that would be awesome, but I don't think she's awake right now.
Maybe put something on her feet. What do you see?
Now, from the way it sounds, it does sound like the plane is moving. You hear that kind of windy type of noise in the background, or a lot of it could be just the AC going, but it sounds like the plane is moving. So, you got this lady talking about God sent her to do something and she need to get off the plane. And Nikki was like, nah, I ain't feeling that. You about to catch this fade. You know what I mean? She said, you're about to catch a fade up in here. I'm not about to try to find out what you trying to do. She's like, I don't know about all that, but I'm paraphrasing. You about to catch a fade up in here because I got to go back to my kids, my family. So, she had to put in that work. Right. But look at what's going on in the video. And it just don't seem like, even though some people mentioned when Nikki went to sit back down, some people was like, good job, but they didn't really seem to be more concerned with cockpit Karen more than it was with appreciating Nikki's heroism, if you will. All right. So yeah, let's look at this video.
She came all the way from the back. She came all the way from the back up here. Do all this.
I need to know Is any medical personnel on board? Any medical personnel at all on board that can assist us? Please come forward to the first class cabin.
I mean, if we could get her in a seat, that would be awesome, but I don't think she's awake right now.
Maybe she's on her feet. What do you see?
They wondering if she's awake, if cockpit Karen is awake. No, you need to be more concerned with what she was planning on doing. And they already you already mentioned through one of the news reports, or you already heard mentioned in the news reports that she wasn't being charged with anything. But this lady could have put, now what if she got past everybody and flipped open that door while the plane is rolling? What could have happened at that point? What could have happened to the plane itself, the people on the plane? Would it be so much air pressure that it's sucking people and pulling them out of the plane, or what? But they concerned with what this lady, she's awake or not, or she's okay, as opposed to thinking, something's really seriously tragic could have happened to a lot of people in that plane. But they more concerned about this with cockpit Karen. All right.
Does she have any medication? She has anxiety medication, but her friend does not know where it is. Her sister does not know where it is. Does she have a purse? Just ask her friend. Her bag is over there. I don't know. Where is her bag?
She's breathing. So she came all the way from the back. She came all the way from the back up here. She did all this. Medics up here.
She's not acknowledging me talking to her. That's not talking to her. She's doing fine.
Good job. Yeah, good job. Thanks.
I won't whoop her ass. Don't do no shit like that.
She's lying. The rest of it.
Just because she don't value her life. I don't value mine.
No.
Wait, watch her arm.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's not going to.
Okay.
We need more. I need a long arm.
Watch her head. Careful, please. I'm sorry.
What she said she was going to do? Hold on, let's go back.
Yeah, good job. Thanks.
I won't whoop her ass. Don't do no shit like that.
She said she was going to whoop that A, all right? She's going to put in there and put them hands on them. And in the other video you seen, she said the lady was pretty strong, but she said, she still was able to take her down because she caught her by surprise. You know what I'm saying? So the element of surprise does work. Okay. So, just to comment on this video though, everybody's so concerned and not thinking like, what could have really happened to us on this plane? And had this lady would just made it down the aisle and opened up the little side door, who knows if she would have jumped out, but what else would have happened to everybody inside the plane? Then you won't be able to get the door open unless there's some type of latch for them to be able to pull the door back in. I'm assuming they probably would have something like that, or a way to close the doors on the plane had this lady would have opened it and just jumped out the plane like that. So in essence, by Nikki putting some hands on a little bit, wrapping her up and asking them to find something to tie her arms up, she saved this lady as well on top of that. So this lady needs to thank her when she gets her little bearings together. All right. But it's real interesting how, once again, Black folks saving the day and there's little fanfare, right? There's little fanfare on the plane. You don't hear much. Now, we don't know what happened before the video was recorded or after it stopped. We don't know what was being said to her. So can't say fully if somebody didn't say or didn't praise her more or not, but she really needs some more than just some lip service from Delta. All right. Most definitely, she needs more than some lip service from Delta Airlines. All right. They need to give her a special reward because, like I said, she saved that lady herself. That lady could have jumped out the plane, got that door open and jumped out. And then some other people could have got hurt in the process. And she also saved passengers because we don't know what she was going to do. Right? Don't know. She would have thought about jumping out the plane and turned back and started attacking people. So shout out to Nikki, man. All right. Shout out to her. Maybe we'll try to get in contact with her to try to get an interview if possible. But if not, shout out to you, Nikki. Salute. Retired soldier in the military. She said she wasn't wasting no time. She was going to put them hands to make her dance. Hands will make you dance. All right. Well, we appreciate y'all, man. Let us know what you think about this one. All right. Let us know what you think about it. Put it in the comments. If you happen to know this lady, tell her to reach out to What's the 411 News. All right. I would love to interview her for a little bit. With that being said, this is What's the 411 News, and we'll be back with another one. All right. Peace.
Welcome back to What's the 411 News, where we bring you news observation, interpretation, and news commentary from an FBA and BGR perspective. Let's get it.